Hi, I'm Alexis, and I'm going to be explaining my lesson plan for Mrs. Devine's class. I am talking about whole number place value. I started out my lesson, which is an inquiry-based lesson. We did a lot of that in Dr. Rollins' class last semester, and I thought it'd be a great way to incorporate it into this lesson plan and this lesson just in general. So to start off the lesson, I decided to start off with a game of place value using something that I created called Gator Chomp. So I have, in theory, in the lesson plan, I have a greater than alligator sign and a less than alligator sign in my classroom, and I will display two numbers to my students, and if the number, as you would read it from left to right, if the number on the left hand side is greater than, then the students will run to the greater than side. If the number on the left hand side is less than, the students will run to the less than side of the classroom. I'll give them a couple of practice rounds, and then as we start the actual game, the students who either pick the wrong side or the last ones to go to the correct side will get out, so we are able to have winners because I think winning games is fun. As I go into the lesson, we go through centers and we walk through different ways to use place value and how place value is important. So I broke it up into 4 separate centers, and the first one is 100 more, 100 less. So students will roll a group of dice. They'll have 3 dice, and they will write it all down. So say their number was 652, they rolled a 6, they rolled a 5, they rolled a 2. They will write that number down in the middle section, and on the left they'll write 100 less than that, and on the right side they'll write 100 more than that. So they would have 552 and then 752. On their second center, they do number war. So at the number war station, everyone gets a deck of cards, and it's basically like playing war, but on a much larger scale. Depending on the group of students you have, you can have them pull 3 cards to 4 cards. And so say I pulled an 8, a 7, and a 6. If my partner pulled a 9, a 9, and a 9, they're going to win all the cards in the deck. Whoever has the most cards at the end wins, but again, it's all based on those place value key rolls. I also have a center called Build a Number Map. I saw something really cool on Pinterest, and there is a map that you use. It's magnetic, and you put all of the numbers in a brown paper bag, so the student just takes out a handful and they partner up, and they have to place all of those numbers correctly on the number map. It goes all the way to 100,000, but for this lesson we'd only be working up to 10,000, so the students would find out if they pulled 2 10,000 tiles and then 3 1,000 digit tiles, they would put them all in order and then write their total sum at the end. And the final center that I had my students do was plot the numbers. So at the beginning of my lesson, I had my students write down a number 1 to 10,000, and it could be any number in between 1 and 10,000. So my students will pick the lowest number that the students wrote down and the highest number the students wrote down, and have to pick at least 5 other numbers from these student numbers that they had chosen originally, and they must put that on a number plot and plot that. But before they do that, they must put it in sequential order so they know this is the lowest number and this is the greatest number. I wrapped up my lesson with an exit ticket, and all I had them do was they had 5 different greater than, less than problems, and they just had to put in those alligator greater than, less than symbols to make sure that they were really understanding what was greater, what was less than. If you have any commentary, I'd love to hear it. I can't wait to listen to everybody else's.